Friends, hello, welcome back. My TV just told me that there's a Frozen 2 out. I did not know there was such a thing. Never seen Frozen 1, but I don't know, I was just kind of surprised by that. Nonetheless, we are with the lovely Toronto Maple Leafs today. The lovely Toronto Maple Leafs, who, by the way, will now be all enforcers. As we know, enforcers, not a very common player build in this game. And typically, the enforcers don't have the greatest stats in this game. Typically, they don't put out the best offensive production. They're a little bit more bigger bodied. They tend to go out and just play strong defensive hockey, lay the body a lot, and they don't score. They don't have the greatest hands. They don't have the greatest puck movement. And the question is today is how much of that changing player types for a team like the Toronto Maple Leafs that is loaded with offensive talent, how much will the player types affect the way these guys play, especially on positions like defense? When you got Morgan Riley, TJ Brody playing enforcer, guys that are, again, you got a 6'1 Riley, you got a 6'1 Brody, you got a 6'1 Giordano, not the tallest of defensemen, but still can get the job done. But how are they going to lay that body using guys that are all enforcers? Was it an enforcer? Yeah, I had a weird feeling that we went over one of those guys that wasn't enforcers. Now the goalie. I am sorry, but there is not an enforcer goalie as Jack Campbell. You're just going to have to be a hybrid. Your typical overall. Same can be said to a Peter Mrazek. There is no enforcer goalies. I apologize, Mrazek. I feel like we tried something like this one time. Maybe it was with a franchise team, though, which affected it more because it's long-term. But I feel like we tried something like this one time, and it substantially affected the output of the team. Now, we're going to find out the Toronto Maple Leafs. I have a feeling this team's not going to make playoffs, though. I think we're going to see a below-average point production out of these Maple Leafs. Then again, what do I know? Maple Leafs are going to start the season 2-0-1. 2-0 to start. I mean, it was Montreal and Ottawa. Not to discredit those wins or anything, but here come the L's. 3-3 Maple Leafs, and again, they have such a beginning of schedule this season for Toronto. Must have been nice. Get a little confidence booster going against some lesser teams, if you will. Flyers going to lose to the Flyers. That might be their first win all year. I can't get over it. I'm sorry. I just can't get over how bad the Flyers were this year. A playoff contender team, they just went off the fence and buried in the ground forever. I don't know. It was crazy. Nonetheless, Toronto, again, looking like a maybe. As I say, looking like a 500 team, but they might be able to stretch aside. They might end up being a playoff team after all. As long as you can stay away from 500, they're not going to. 18-14, 17-14, you're usually good this far into the season, but if you can't create a little bit of separation, that's when things start to fall apart. I feel like in the second half with these Sims. We'll see. It looks like a 500 team to me. We're going to find out. I'm saying 500. Devils, sit down. Rangers, sit down. They are all beating up on a New York Islander or Toronto Maple Leafs today. Win over the Islanders, win over the Ducks. A little bit of a breather here for the Maple Leafs. Had about 3 games in 2 weeks, and they're going to get the 3 weeks off here as well. 26-19, starting to turn things back around to these Maple Leafs. They might make playoffs after all. Are they in a playoff spot right now? They are indeed in a playoff spot right now. Them, the Lightning, Panthers, and Bruins. Man, the Panthers, something else this year. An impressive performance by the Florida Panthers. Bobrovsky and all these guys coming together this season, playing some good hockey. How long we got to the season's over? What is our 75 games played or so? 75, 76 for most teams. I think that's where we're at. Or April, we're about to find out in this month here, April 17th. It might even be farther than that. April 7th. Yeah, that's about right. About 75 to 78 games. 3 left for the Maple Leafs here before the season ends. A little bit more than 3, actually. There's 7 left. Yeah, 75, 76 about right. I was trying to do the math there. We are on the 17th today. Happy belated Easter. We're recording this in the morning, but the video will be out in the, I don't know, Tuesday-ish, Wednesday range there. Nonetheless, the Leafs did make the playoffs. Surprisingly. And now the next question is, do we see an overall drop from these guys? Matthews dropped 95 points. He didn't even care. The position player type meant absolutely nothing to him. And that's the other interesting thing about this. Sometimes in this game, when you do like two-way forwards, it seems like they don't put out a lot of points. It appears that did not affect Matthews or Marner or Nylander. So maybe Enforcer's not as big of a deal. But in franchise, if you guys remember it, sometimes you pick those two-way forwards. They don't produce offensively. It doesn't matter who they are, how good they are. They just have a problem producing. But the top line put up 80, 85, and 95 points. Once you get past that, you had Tavares, Bunting, and Mikheyev, who all, again, played pretty well. Penalty minutes around that 30-ish range. How's the hits looking? A lot, I think. Is that a lot? Oh, that's Bunting, Mikheyev, Tavares. Nylander light 63. That seems like a lot. I'm not sure. Let's take a look at previous seasons here for Matthews. Get an idea. He usually averages around... Well, that's about right for him. 57, 40, 28. I think he's a bigger guy. Pretty defensive-minded player as well here, even though he's a stud on the offensive side. So really, we're not seeing too many changes at all. No fights, interestingly enough. First-round draft pick. 65 takeaways, 49 giveaways. Again, 57. I can't believe... Nah, Marner's got 57 a year too, really? I feel like that's boosted. Yeah, he had more hits this year as an enforcer, so his hits actually doubled. Nylander, how's Nylander looking? His hits went through the roof. Yeah, okay, so we're definitely seeing the difference there with the enforcer affecting hits. It looks like these guys' hits nearly doubled. I'm just so surprised by the fact that their hits and stuff did go up, but it didn't affect their point production. And if anything, Michael Bunting just played like an absolute beauty out there. 50-some points as an 82 overall. Maybe all enforcers is the way to go this year. That seems like some pretty good numbers. It really does. Even for the first line, all over a point per game. Well, Nylander pretty much a point per game. How'd the goaltender play this year? Not that it's an enforcer or anything, but just an idea. 905 to see how much of an impact he had on his team making playoffs here. 45, 32, and 5. They really did just barely make playoffs. 95 points. So as much as we're talking about how great they look, they barely made playoffs. Looks like they actually slid him pretty comfortably here in the Atlantic. How'd the points per game look? 3.2 points, 4 per game. Goals against was kind of high. 2.88. A little high for a team that's on enforcer, so we didn't see too much of a defensive overpowerment, if you will, out of these players this season. I am curious now how these guys are doing in playoffs. I'm curious now in general. Maybe one day we're going to do a video where... see, the thing is, it's so random sometimes still. This is obviously clear. The big impact that enforcer had here was the hits change for all these guys. But sometimes it can be really random where the team doesn't make playoffs, misses playoffs, how many points they get. But it'd be kind of cool to go through every single player type and then see how much of an impact that has on the team's stats and their abilities and so forth from there. Okay then, Toronto, let's get bounced in the first round. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to jump into this. Oh, yeah, we are. Come on, Toronto. We got Stanley Cup coming here. There you go. 1-0 early. 1-1 after 2. Toronto looking to not get bounced in the first round. Will be a team of all enforcers that gets this team over that first round hump. Shesterkin playing pretty well to start the third period. Up top there on the point. Big save. Campbell with the save on Ryan Reeves. Power play Rangers. Maple Leafs going to kill it off. A low-scoring defensive battle. You love that style of playoff hockey. Toronto right in front of Soup. Chris Kreider gets robbed. And we're going to overtime. Next goal wins. Big save again by Shesterkin that time. And that indeed is going to help propel the Rangers to the second round. Andrew Kopp on Jack Campbell. The Maple Leafs once again are going to get bounced in the first round of playoffs, even with the team of all enforcers. Now, I don't think there's not really an enforcer-esque type of award in the NHL. I say we can take a look at the awards and see if it affected anything, but I don't think we're going to see too much of a difference by that. Well, you know what I've seen a lot in these sims lately? Is Calgary making a Stanley Cup. They sim up really well lately. I feel like it's a team that can be very hit or miss sometimes. They haven't been putting together some good sims lately on this game. Let's take a look here at the trophies. Let's see what we got. Individual. Art Ross, Nikita Kucherov. Memorial, Nikita Kucherov. Norris, Bing, Kucherov. Raymond Calder, Smythe, Vasi, Vezina. They're just taking everything home over there in Tampa. Well, that's who we was going to start with, was Tampa and all enforcers. Then we went to Toronto. I was like, I feel like we do a lot of Tampa videos. I was trying to choose a team that had a high-powered offense, so we went Toronto instead. Markstrom, Vakanainen in the Bill Mastodon, and Selke with Ryan O'Reilly. So if there was one thing I thought maybe we had a chance of better with an enforcer, was a defensive, Franklin, the Selke, a defensive award, but that didn't happen there. Ovi getting a Maurice Richard. That's going to wrap things up for this video, though, guys. As always, if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate you consider subscribing, liking the video. You never have to. And yes, for watching. We'll see you next time.